Hey you, yes you, with that slightly puzzled look, wondering if the mysterious jar with floating jelly you saw on social media is really safe to drink. That's kombucha, an ancient fermented tea that's been making modern waves. People say it can help with digestion, boost your energy, and maybe even make you feel like a superhero. But is it as magical as everyone claims, or is it just a trendy drink that'll fizzle out when the next hot beverage arrives? Today, we're going to peel back the fizzy curtain on kombucha. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly how this funky fermented tea works, what it can and can't do for your health, and why some people treat it like liquid gold. So, if you're ready to decode the swirl of sugar, bacteria, and tea leaves, stick around. Grab a comfy seat, maybe a snack, preferably something that isn't still alive in your fridge, and let's explore the bubbly world of kombucha together. My first kombucha encounter was courtesy of a friend who swore it was life-changing. She handed me a bottle, and as soon as I popped the cap, it nearly erupted like a mini volcano. The smell was a curious blend of vinegar, fruit, and maybe a hint of gym socks. I took a sip expecting something awful, but I was pleasantly surprised. It was tangy, a little sweet, and super bubbly. Naturally, I thought if a little is good, a lot must be awesome. So I guzzled almost the entire bottle that night. Bad call. Between the caffeine and acidity, I felt like I'd consumed a whirlwind in a bottle. Talk about being too wired to sleep. That adventure taught me an important lesson. When it comes to kombucha, you want to sip, not chug. And that's exactly why I'm here, to help you avoid your own late-night kombucha chaos. Kombucha is a fermented tea, which basically means special microorganisms chow down on sugar and convert it into compounds that give the drink its tang and fizz. The main players are found in the SCOBY, that's symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. Picture a rubbery, pancake-shaped blob floating on top of your sweetened tea. It looks weird, but tastes amazing, eventually. Here's the short version. 1. Start with black or green tea, sweetened with sugar. 2. Dunk the SCOBY in the brew. 3. Let it sit for about 1 to 2 weeks. 4. Celebrate your new tangy, slightly sweet, and delightfully bubbly tea. Kombucha's been around for over 2,000 years, first popping up in ancient China with nicknames like Elixir of Life. It made its way through Russia, Europe, and eventually landed on supermarket shelves everywhere, often in fancy bottles with colorful labels and claims of magical digestive powers. Gut health and digestion. Kombucha is often praised for its probiotics, those good guy bacteria believed to help keep your gut balanced. Think of them like a friendly traffic cop, directing nutrients where they need to go, potentially easing bloating and promoting smoother digestion. Antioxidant power. Since kombucha starts with tea, it inherits antioxidants that can protect your cells from everyday stress. Think of these antioxidants as tiny bodyguards fighting off destructive molecules. Fermentation might even make some of these antioxidants more accessible to your system. Immune system support. A big chunk of your immune system lives in your gut, so adding beneficial bacteria could give you a little extra edge. While kombucha isn't a magic shield against every cold, it's part of a broader approach to staying healthy. Possible blood sugar help. The fermentation process creates acetic acid, which some people say helps with energy and stabilizing blood sugar. Just don't expect kombucha to replace medication or healthy eating habits. Yes, I admit to more than one kombucha oops. The first, as you know, was the overenthusiastic bottle chug at midnight. Then I tried to brew my own kombucha without cleaning my jars properly. Spoiler alert, mold is not a fun surprise to find in your so-called healthy beverage. I took one look at those fuzzy dots and declared that batch doomed. From these slip-ups, I realized kombucha is a beverage that demands respect, like a wise yet moody roommate. If you treat it well, it'll reward you with zippy flavor and potential perks. But if you neglect it, like forgetting to sanitize your supplies, it'll happily remind you of its sour side. I'm sharing my comedic misadventures so you can jump straight to the fun part, enjoying kombucha responsibly and skipping the mold fiasco altogether. High acidity in your teeth. Kombucha can be acidic, meaning it might slowly wear away tooth enamel if you drink it often. Pro tip, use a straw or give your mouth a quick water rinse afterward to help keep your pearly whites intact. Tummy troubles. While moderate kombucha consumption can aid digestion, too much might lead to bloating, gas, or a stomach that makes some questionable noises. Start small, listen to your gut, pun intended, and adjust accordingly. Contamination concerns. Homebrewed kombucha can turn into a microbial circus if you're not super strict about cleanliness. Mold, bacteria, or other nasties could set up camp in your jar. If that makes you squeamish, stick to store-bought brands that test their products. Alcohol content. Yes, kombucha can have trace amounts of alcohol, under 0.5% in most commercial brands. Homemade batches, however, can sneak past that if fermented longer. If you're pregnant, sensitive to alcohol, or just prefer to stay dry, do your research or skip it altogether. Caffeine and the No Sleep Club. Made from tea leaves, kombucha retains some caffeine. It might not jolt you like an espresso, but if you're sensitive or if it's late, it could still disrupt your snooze schedule. Start small. Ease in with 4 to 8 ounces a day, about half a bottle. Kombucha might taste like a party in your mouth, but moderation ensures you're not waking up at 3 a.m. with an upset stomach. Pair with food. Think of kombucha like that fun friend who needs a buddy at the party. Pair it with a fiber-rich meal, like a salad, brown rice, or roasted veggies, to help tame the acidity. Check sugar levels. Some kombuchas have more sugar than a slice of cake. Okay, maybe not that much, but enough to surprise you. Read labels, and if you see sky-high sugar grams, consider diluting your drink or opting for a lower sugar brand. Timing matters. Try enjoying kombucha earlier in the day. It's a nice pick-me-up around lunchtime, but chugging it at 11 p.m. might give you a one-way ticket to Insomniaville. Use a straw or rinse. This is your friendly reminder. Reduce enamel exposure to acid by sipping through a straw or swishing with water afterward. Future you and your dentist will thank you. Is kombucha gluten-free? Typically, yes. Kombucha is tea, sugar, and a SCOBY. No wheat involved. But if it's flavored with certain additives, double-check the label. Can kids drink kombucha? Small sips might be okay, but keep in mind there's caffeine and a smidge of alcohol. It's best to ask a pediatrician, especially for younger kids. Should pregnant or breastfeeding people skip kombucha? Some do, some don't. Because of those trace amounts of alcohol and caffeine, it's wise to get a professional opinion based on your unique situation. How should I store it? If it's unopened, a cool pantry might be fine, but the fridge is typically recommended. Once you open it, pop the cap back on tightly and keep it chilled to maintain the fizz. Why does each bottle taste different? Fermentation is a living process, which means small changes in temperature, brew time, or the SCOBY itself can alter the flavor and fizziness. Embrace the unpredictability. Those with weak immune systems, kombucha is unpasteurized, meaning it still has live bacteria and yeast. If your immune system is compromised, ask a doctor before diving in. People with ulcers, gastritis, or acid reflux. The acidity might irritate these conditions. Again, run it by a healthcare professional if you're unsure. Anyone really sensitive to caffeine or alcohol, even small amounts can be a big deal if you're extremely sensitive. Pregnant or breastfeeding individuals, since kombucha has trace amounts of alcohol and caffeine, it's always safest to get medical advice tailored to you. Remember, kombucha is just one piece in the big health puzzle. If it's not for you, there are plenty of other probiotic-packed goodies, like yogurt, kefir, or fermented veggies, to keep your gut friends happy. Brewing kombucha at home can feel like running a tiny science lab, minus the white coat. You'll need a glass jar, tea, black or green, sugar, a SCOBY, and lots of cleanliness. After brewing sweet tea, you add the SCOBY, cover the jar with a breathable cloth, and let it sit at room temperature for about 1 to 2 weeks. When I first tried home brewing, I got lazy with sanitizing. Let's just say I ended up with a suspicious layer of fuzz that wasn't the SCOBY. Not good. Now, I scrub everything with hot water and vinegar before starting a new batch. If all goes well, you'll eventually taste test the brew each day until it hits that sweet tart spot you love. For extra fun, try a second fermentation. Transfer your kombucha into bottles with a bit of juice or fresh fruit to create a natural soda-like fizz. Just keep an eye on it so you don't end up with a kombucha geyser in your kitchen. Look at you, strolling through the kombucha realm like a pro now. You've learned what kombucha is. It's not an alien in a jar, why people swear by its gut-friendly qualities, and how to sidestep common pitfalls, like midnight caffeine rushes or moldy disasters. If you're tempted to give kombucha a whirl, Remember to start small, check labels, and listen to your body. No single drink, fermented or otherwise, can fix everything. But kombucha can be a fun, fizzy part of a well-rounded routine. Whether you're sipping store-bought brews or venturing into the wild world of home brewing, keep things clean, balanced, and mindful. Found this guide helpful? Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay in the loop. I'd also love to hear your kombucha stories, especially if you've had any hilarious missteps or triumphant flavor combos you want to share. Cheers to a happy gut and a happier you. Before you head off, we'd like to remind you that this video is for informational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult a healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet or lifestyle.